Captain's Lounge, Maneki Family's own talk show. I'm Maneki, and this is my dad, Lil Cat. We're gonna sit down and talk about Star Citizen. Today we're taking a 2-day Star Citizen convention and cramming it all into a 20-minute video. This year's CitizenCon took place on the flight deck of the UEES Bearberry, a UAE Navy Bengal carrier. No, not really. It was in Manchester, UK, but it was decorated like Bearberry. They even had a life-size F-7A.
It didn't work, though.
They also had fun-sized stuff like cosplay, souvenir shops, and model ships, like the UEE's repetition, a super dreadnought.
The United Empire Earth's attempt to make a Death Star.
So this was the first time we sat down and watched all the CitizenCon footage together.
Now, normally I just watch Board Gamer and pass on the too long didn't watch version to my kid. But with production hitting Quantum this past year, I didn't want to miss anything this time.
We're starting from 15, 16 hours of footage?
Yeah, try getting a grade schooler to watch that many hours of presentation. Whose idea was that anyway? So, to save you from going through the same pain, this is going to be one crazy, fast-paced info dump. And I'll have chapter dividers below if you want to skip to your favorite part.
So grab some popcorn and strap in, and prepare to be amazed. Star Citizen is redoing planets. They're doing new biomes like swamps, jungles, redwood forests with huge trees, and more.
But how? That's where Genesis, or Planetary Tech 5.0, comes in.
Actually, I didn't really understand all that. So Dad, you explain it.
Right, so when you hear the words procedural generation, you think of random numbers, right?
What's a prosecutio?
We're starting there? Okay, so it's not random numbers. Programmers write rules, and then the computer makes decisions based on those rules. In this case, the computer builds a planet. Far from the sun, make it a cold planet with lots of ice and not enough light. Bring it too close and you get a greenhouse planet or a barren, burnt rock. It's just a really simple example, but it's a great starting point. Now take some basic examples of flora, fauna, and geology you're likely to see in a biome. Factor in mass, humidity, atmospheric pressure, radiation, exposure, and suddenly you're looking at nearly limitless, unique biomes and habitats spanning hundreds, thousands of planets. Rivers, animals, giant trees you gotta try not to crash into when landing. They're all in places that make sense, and all because you gave a computer some rules and said, "Hey Genesis, make me a planet."
But it doesn't stop there. Tell them all about the outpost.
Right, and all those planets with all that land, you'd expect people to be living in more than just a few special cities, right? The game's gonna have colonies pop up everywhere, but not randomly. It'll be based on those rules again.
Like having refineries pop up near mining outposts which pop up around distribution centers, and they're getting those resources from nearby caves where you can explore, which are because it makes sense for them to be there, as an example.
Now we've gone from 20 to 30 locations of interest to thousands on one planet. What will you find?
They're also making it so you can blow up walls and stuff.
Which makes more sense than having walls so strong you can hit them with bombs and not even scratch them.
So you can take cover behind something to hide from enemies, but watch out when they blow up your wall. They're also bringing in prettier light and realer sound for an experience that feels so much more lifelike.
That stuff I didn't even understand. Something about bouncing and scattering. But it's cool, take my word. Or take this explosion. Ah, loving that reverb.
And this is cool. They're bringing weather and making you follow rules like I was talking about. Like, you'll see crowds growling and the sky getting darker. And the wind will start getting stronger. And it'll be kinda dangerous.
It'll actually feel dangerous.
Like, you'll know the storm will be coming and you'll know it's gonna be time to hide in a bunker or get out there quick. So you don't get caught in it.
Especially not in an aurora.
Wow, that one got one shot by the sky. That's sad. So right now, social stuff in Star Citizen is one big chat box for about 100 players. And either the chat box is on and you see everyone talking at once, or it's off and you can't see anything at all. So if they leave like this, it's gonna get a lot crazier, because they're doing server meshing and there'll be more than 1,000 players in the server.
So first let's divide those chats into different channels, maybe a general one for trading, maybe an SOS channel. You know, basic stuff like other MMOs do.
Why didn't they just do that before?
Like, they had other things to worry about, like the game?
Oh, Right. So they're also gonna make blocking a thing, because, let's be honest, in every online game there are gonna be those guys.
You know the ones.
The creepy ones, the angry for nothing ones, the trolls. But instead of letting them ruin chat for everyone, we also get a mute button. A mute button.
A moot button. They're all moot. But that's also basic stuff.
But really needed. I don't have to play with chat forever off anymore.
Still, there's more to it, isn't there?
Yep. I think right now if you use the website's communication feature to talk to others, it's just in the website. But in the coming version, someone in the game can chat with someone who's just checking chat on their phone, making players still be able to get involved even if they're not actually in the game.
Okay, that's new.
So making friends would mean more, because they still be reachable when they're in the car on a long trip and won't be home for hours.
Wonder if they have a phone app for that.
Oh, and keeping friends organized would be easier too. You can group them, you can even keep notes so you don't forget who's who. I mean, we're going to be meeting a lot of new people after all.
Note feature. Why didn't anybody come up with that sooner?
You can do the same with your enemies, like on your block list. You can remember who was saying rude stuff, and who pirated you, and who pad rammed you just for laughs. So you can pay them back 1,000 times.
Speaking of, people on your naughty list can be assigned to a hostiles group, so if you see them in space, they'll be marked orange, and you can be careful around them.
Or if you find them in a lava zone, they'll show up in red and you can shoot on sight.
Please don't end up on the shoot on sight list. Please?
But it doesn't stop there. All these features will work if your friends' friends too.
Now there's a lot to cover there, so let's talk about another MMO staple, the Guild. In this game it's called an organization, and now individual players can gain loyalty points based on their contributions to their org, which in turn gains loyalty points with certain factions, which unlocks loyalty-based rewards. But more on that later.
More importantly, org can make alliances or declare rivalries, which will also change the way players are marked. Org mates and allies will be green or blue, neutrals yellow, and hostiles orange or red.
Don't shoot orange or you'll risk getting in trouble.
Red's fair game though, right? Right?
Sure.
But you're also not just stuck with one org. The plan is to be able to join up to 6.
It's kind of like having both a Costco membership and a Sam's Club membership at once.
Except you can only represent one at a time.
And only build loyalty with one at a time. But it's cool, because if you have like 2 friends running 2 different orgs, you don't have to quit one just to join the other.
Quitting an org resets your loyalty points to 0 too.
Makes sense. If you're gonna go around quitting orgs, you're not really loyal to them, are you?
They got other things coming out too, like a fleet manager so you can see who's on that ship, in what seat, and the fleet commander doesn't end up getting a status report from, say, the 4th cargo loader on a 7th ship in Rampa Wing. Why are you trying to get a status report from his scouts? It's Grandpa Wing. That's funny though.
They got other quality of life improvements coming up too.
Like Star Maps link, you could say me here. I have other players come through their set of course for here, even if they don't know where here even is.
That's helpful.
Then there's a party finder so you can link up with other players looking to do exactly what you're in the mood to do.
This is going to be really good for new players or players who just want to jump in and do something quick, and is going to keep global chat much more manageable.
Then there's the direct messages.
The simple stuff makes a big difference.
Yeah, it sounds like the boring part of the presentation, but after a year of the old social app, I'm really looking forward to the bigger, better, smoother communication app. With CIG's new gear system, you can mix and match clothes and armor for fun new fashion. Well, you can?
Yeah, you can.
Finally!
Awesome, right? But different gear is going to be better for different things.
Like stealth armor or racing spacesuits, or heavy combat armor that turns you into a walking tank.
And they're going to have roll bonuses like being unscannable with the stealth armor, or having G-force resistance with the racing suits.
Imagine walking into a fancy restaurant in a spaceship with walking tank armor.
You might get the kicked out of fancy restaurant bonus.
This also means Dad's gonna be extra careful not to walk into space without a helmet now. So then CIG's example team got all geared up, then they went into the desert and got attacked by a giant worm.
So the big old Dune-style sandworm was revealed back at CitizenCon 2016, and we haven't heard anything about it since, up until when it popped up in the middle of this presentation and started spitting rocks at spaceships.
But it looks like they were actually hunting the worm on purpose to lose parts.
More on that in a bit. CIG has more to reveal.
A lot of us are looking forward to Alpha 4.0, which is going to have a lot more engineering.
Which is going to have a lot more engineering.
Engineering, new critters, and a whole new star system to explore.
Well, that'd be Pyro, the lawless frontier.
But wait, there's more. I always wanted to say that.
Some of the older players remember Levski, an asteroid base from Alpha 2.0. Well, it's back and looking better than ever.
In fact, they're doing the whole system.
Yep, the whole mix system coming soon, and they're dropping hints that they might, possibly, maybe have Van Duel showing up there. But that's just speculation.
Speaking of speculation, they're also working on a cash flow system, which might have the XCIN.
Xian? Xian?
Xian?
How do you pronounce that anyway?
Xian? I don't know, but they got a really cool landing zone.
It's called Sherman, and it was a frontline military staging area up until the humans and the Shan figured out that they didn't really have a reason to fight.
But each of these new places, Pyro, Kasha, Nyx, and all the landing zones in them, will also be getting more gameplay areas to explore.
And not just them, but the ones in Stanton too. If you look at ArcCorp, the whole planet's a city. Don't tell me you've never wondered what's under the surface.
Area 18 is going to become like the back rooms.
What are the back rooms? Yeah, let's move on.
Here, let me play some footage. Cloud Imperium Games President Chris Robertson presented the latest build of Squadron 42.
Squadron, huh?
Not just cinematics, but real gameplay. And it's not just a recording, it's live. They played it right on stage.
You can tell the game crashed 3 times. And then when they were testing, it didn't crash at all. The guy who was playing got so upset, he went straight back to the office, booted up, played through the whole mission again, crash-free, and was like, "Get this up on YouTube, now!"
I know what it feels like. It's like I've had my room clean all day, and then right before Mom walks in.
Well, let's not go there, okay? What did you think of Squadron 42?
It's like all my favorite games squished together. But I was kind of disappointed with Chris Roberts.
Huh? Why? Well, he's only human.
You talked him up so much, I thought he'd be like Elon Musk.
Elon's only human too. But anyway, shouldn't that prove to you that you don't have to be some sort of superhuman to accomplish something great? All it takes is a huge dream, an unstoppable will, hard work, the right knowledge, the right connections at the right time. With a liberal helping of sheer luck, okay, maybe you do have to be superhuman. But what's stopping any of us from being that superhuman?
You mean besides bills? So then when's it coming out?
They said it's scheduled for release in 2026.
What? So all of that was just day 1.
Day 2 was about half as long as that.
Day 2 was all about crafting. Like, remember that sandword? The players were hunting for materials.
So now we get into production.
Yep, first we start with a blueprint, with one you can buy, get as a reward, or find as loot.
Once you learn it forever.
Then you go find materials to build, and some materials are better than others.
High quality materials give you bonus stats when you make stuff, and you can use them to research upgrades to your blueprints.
Higher tier items are way better than lower tier ones, but they'll need higher quality materials to build.
And by the way, those higher quality materials are much harder to find. Like, they're probably in more dangerous places too, like in the belly of one of those sandworms.
Maybe we'll just buy them.
That too will be a thing. Not just that, it's going to drive the economy, exactly as planned.
So up to tier 3 items, and to tier 5 ships.
Or tier 5 ships built with the best materials, which have bonuses on top of being just tier 5.
You heard that right, you can build ships, any ships, you just need blueprints.
And the right raw materials, and a refinery to make those right raw materials into the right refined materials, and the right fabricator or the right factory to turn all those materials into your dream ship.
So it might be a little complicated.
Just a bit.
Wow. Player crafted items and ships are going to be better than the stuff shown in NPC shops. Because of course they are.
But how are you going to sell them? Right now, the buyer has to gift the seller credits, the seller drops the wanted item for the buyer to pick up, and both of them have to hope the other side doesn't just run off with their credits or stuff.
But soon, you'll be able to make your own shops. Like, you would put your stuff on a rack, where it's locked until someone actually pays credits to unlock it.
Where are you going to put your shop? She's been looking forward to this.
So, last year's CIG announced base building.
We made great strides towards that with persistent hangars.
I was seriously thinking Minecraft and Persistent, but Persistent hangars are junky. Have you ever tried to build a castle of cargo boxes? They bounce, they slide, they explode for no reason.
Might be because she's building with hydrogen. Haven't you been taught about the Hindenburg?
Huh?
But yeah, I get it. I saw the result of all her hard work and she was not happy with it.
So coming up, you'll find a nice piece of land. Bring out the little builder hover cart thing. Get your resources lined up, select the blueprint so the hover cart knows what to build, tell the hover cart thing where to build. Press a button,
and watch grass grow.
Yeah!
I'm joking, of course, but it's not going to be instant. Drones stored in the cart will start 3D printing your building, and make sure you also have a power generator because your new habs will need electricity to work. And don't forget to have the materials handy or your drones are just going to sit there drinking all your coffee and making jokes about you behind your back.
But once everything is built, you can decorate your building. Make it a home, an office, a lounge, a storage room, or a store.
So that's where you're going to be able to put your stuff for sale.
It's not just building those basic houses. You can also make farms, mining stations, factories, which is where you'll build all those extra powerful ships.
Has anyone else noticed that all this stuff being presented this year is kind of linked?
Yep, in fact, they also revealed... Because of course they did. So first up we have Argo SCV. CSV. This four-wheel construction truck has two medium-sized construction drones, fits in the backs of lots of medium-sized ships, and it can build bigger, faster, and better.
Medium drones means medium structures, which you can't build with the small drones in the cart.
They also have cargo truck version, which carries cargo. Yes, that's it.
I didn't say anything.
So you want bigger? The Mixed Scar Silencers has 4 large drones and can build large buildings. It also comes in compact or cargo versions, for those who don't care about the building. And then they showed us the constellated outline Pioneer.
Well, actually they showed that to us back last year, but they had to totally change the ship to fit the new crafting design.
Yep, it's no longer just a base builder ship, now it's a whole mobile base.
Complete with medbay, refinery, the fabricator, capable of making up to small-sized ships, the Pioneer is basically a one-stop shop for crafters without a home.
But it is still a builder ship, and with extra large drones, it's the only ship in the game that can build extra large buildings, including space stations.
By the way, we're gonna skip ahead a bit in the presentation and show you the space stations now.
Space stations are endgame contact, for those who are rich, powerful, and have lots of friends.
They're also unbelievable resource hogs, and I can't even imagine the taxes you'd have to pay to have one in Empire Space.
But you can have your shops, refineries, and even a super shipyard model that can build a Bengal carrier.
Anyone got that blueprint?
Well, we're already talking about the new ships. Last year, CIG gave us a teaser with 10 new ships they're working on. They gave us the Mirai Pulse, Origin X1, RSI Ultra Medevac, Argo MPUVTI, or something like that. The Aegis Retaliator rework, and the RSIZS Mark II, which they made a really big deal about. The Crusader Intrepid, Marai Guardian, and the RSI Polaris are coming really soon.
Now, I think they said they're coming for IAE just a couple of weeks away, but did anyone notice that the RSI Galaxy with the large base builder module wasn't mentioned?
Oh, I didn't.
Shortly after CitizenCon, one of the CIG staff posted that they had no current plans for the base builder module.
That can't be right.
Yeah, people bought the Galaxy expecting to be able to build with it. There was much fire and fury. For about a day.
A day?
Yeah, the shortest controversy solved by the shortest about-face in CIG history.
So what happened?
The next post basically said, "No, we didn't mean we weren't gonna make it. We're just not working on it right now, so you'll get it later."
Why didn't they say so?
Why indeed?
Finally, Chris Roberts came back to talk about the day we're all waiting for, official release. When Star Citizen was fully developed and ready for the world.
He kicked off a special presentation on the vision for the game at release, where staff made clear from the outset that though 1.0 would be ready, that would not mean they'd be done.
That says that they originally planned to release with 100 systems, but now they want to release with 5. That's the 4 they talked about earlier, plus Terra.
It's a big difference though. When they wanted to release with 100 systems, they were talking about planets with a landing zone or 2, which you couldn't actually explore freely.
Planet Tech came a long way since then, and now there are thousands of points of interest in each world. And that doesn't even count as the ones you build.
But there are a lot more systems for them to release, and the technology just made planet creation faster, so these new systems won't be far behind.
Of course, there are also new ships and creatures, factions and aliens that we haven't even seen yet. By 1.0, a lot of them will be in the game, but there will still be room to grow.
Now some of that growth will definitely happen post-release, but they're not going to charge for new content. Once you've bought the game, you get full access for as long as there is a Star Citizen.
So there's so much to do in Star Citizen, it's easy to get overwhelmed.
Like, the question isn't so much what can I do, but more what should I do?
1.0 is going to have a storyline, and if you play it, you'll be guided through and shown around the verse. You can take your time, take a break, or forget about it completely, but it'll be much worth doing. You try to do all sorts of things, and I'm sure you'll find something you like.
Probably going to be like a branching storyline then?
Well, if it's anything like Squadron 42, it's going to be epic.
And at the end of it, you'll get to be an official citizen of the Empire with advanced access, land claim rights, and more.
What? What are you now?
Civilians. We need to earn citizen rank.
Star Civilian. Yeah, doesn't have the same ring to it. But not everyone's going to want to play nicely. There's gameplay for that too.
You can actually take over Lawless or Frontier land.
And space! And you can do it in huge battles with fleets of giant spaceships, dropping bombs and landing tanks, then invading enemy bases.
You can earn protection points for an extra edge. It'll shield your bases from invasion or damage, but you'll need to keep control over a space station or successfully take over.
And remember those player-made space stations? You can invade or defend those too. Wow, it looks like players can even make their own empires.
Yep, whether you're a corporation, a syndicate, an extension of the UEE, or a religious cult, imagine taking over an entire system with your org.
Oh, that reminds me. Since there'll be space for you to join 6 orgs, why can't one of them be the new org I'm making, Maneki Family and Friends? Dad, you're gonna join, right?
Way to put on the pressure live and in studio. Can't it wait until CIG actually gets the new system going?
Yeah, I can't wait, but at least everyone watching knows the thing now. So there's CitizenCon 2024, a 2-day event in just 20 minutes.
And if you have any questions or just want to weigh in, drop us a note in the comments below. And if you're not playing yet, take some time to check it out. More info in the description.
Including links to sign up, and you'll get bonuses if you use them.
Full disclosure, so will we.
If you're already a player or a fan of Star Citizen and have stories to tell, we'd love to hear all about it in the comments. Here at Maneki Family, we believe that stories are meant to be shared. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Fly safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time. That's a cool logo. A big thank you to all of you who like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Your support keeps us going and helps our family grow up big and strong. If you have some time, I'd love to share my story with you. Please check out my Space Adventure Diary. Or if you don't, try my 60-second chip reviews. If you want to see more, please subscribe and be the first to know when we do something new. If you're looking for more ways to support us, just check out the link below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time!